for the first snafu. First time I tried to do this, it didn't come out right. The screen was cut short and it just did not look right at all. So I had to stop that stream or attempted stream and go with what we got right now. So I apologize again for anybody who was in here looking, that came in on the first go round. We are going to try again. As the old saying goes, if at first you don't succeed, you try again. And we are at April 17th, game between the Chicago White Sox and the Detroit Tigers. So hopefully the game itself won't be as eventful as the start of this is. It's been a little bit of time since I played. I was doing some other things, and Tabby has been kind of nudgy lately and really didn't want to step away from her. She won't come up here, but at least not now she won't. But between that and Black Friday stuff and doing some other things, it just couldn't find the time to get this game in on video. So I figured now's a good time as any. I was trying to do it at 8:30, but I'm a little late on the 8:30 scheme of things. But we're going to see if we can get this done. Hello, Ron. I'll get myself straight here shortly. Anyway, we're at the April 17th date, and I'm going to want to go over the games that were played previously to the game of the week or game of the day on video. The Baltimore Orioles faced the Cleveland Indians, and it was the Indians defeating the Orioles 8-7. Indians improved to 5-5. Orioles dropped to 3-7. The winner was Ed Vandenberg. He's 1-1. Doug Jones got his first save, and Mark Kinnunen, however you pronounce it, is 0-1. Ken Gerhart hit his second and third home runs of the game for the Orioles, and Lee Lacy hit his first. Brooke Jacoby had his third and fourth, so Jacoby really was the star of the game for the Cleveland Indians that allowed them to defeat the Orioles by the score of 8-7. Another game on April the 17th that was played, the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, and the Red Sox dropped to 0-10. 0-10 for the Red Sox as they take a drubbing 12-2 from Toronto. Bob Stanley did not last long. He took the loss. He's now 0-2. Dwayne Ward was a starter in this game. He's actually a relief pitcher. He pitched the first inning, gave up a run, and got tired. So John Cerruti came in and pitched 5 innings of one-run relief, and then Mark Eichhorn pitched the final 3 innings to get the save. So even on a 12-2 game, if you pitch 3 innings, you get the save. So they went at 12-2 as they pounded out 15 hits. In the real game, Toronto got 17 hits. This game, they got 15. Home runs in the game. The only home run in the game, well, actually 2 home runs in the game. Jesse Barfield his second, and Fred McGriff his second. And also George Bell his 5th. George Bell tripled. He had a 2-run triple and a 2-run homer to carry the offense in that game. But Cerruti really the star. 5 innings pitched in relief, only 1 run. So the Red Sox dropped to 0-10, and they will turn to Jeff Sellers on April the 18th to try to get that first win if possible. Get off the schneid. All right, Texas and Milwaukee. Milwaukee improves to 9-1. Remember, in real world, they started the season 13-0. They are now 9-1. Texas drops to 4-5. Interesting thing here, the score was 10-2, and that's exactly what the real game was 10-2. Hits were a little bit different, but the score itself was the same. Winning pitcher is Teddy Higuera. He's now 1-1, and Mike Mason, the loser, 0-1. Mason only lasted an inning and 2/3 as he got clubbed for 5 runs in 2 innings. Home runs in the game. Cecil Cooper hit 2 of them, his second and his third. He was the player of the game. 4 for 5, 2 singles, 2 home runs. So definitely the player of the game, although Mulder had a great game also, 3 for 6 with 3 runs scored, 2 doubles. Home run in the game for Texas, only Larry Parrish his second. So Milwaukee improves to 9-1. Texas drops to 4-5. Out in the West Coast, Oakland is now in first place in the AL West as they defeat the Seattle Mariners 9-2. They are 9-2, Mariners 7-4. Kurt Young gets the win. He's 1-1. Mark Langston takes the loss 1-2. Home runs. One of the interesting things is Mark McGwire played third base in this game and committed 3 errors. The A's had 4 errors. 3 of them were committed by Mark McGwire. 2 of them in the second inning. and then one later on in the ninth. But he did atone for it with a home run, his second of the season, but he did commit 3 errors playing third base. San Javier hit his first home run also, and the losing effort for the Mariners, Jim the Hound Dog Presley hit his second of the season. But the A's now in first place, 9-2. Seattle drops to 7-4, 2 games back. The other game, last game that was played on the 17th by guys that are in the bottom 2 spots just about, Minnesota and California, but the Twins take it 8-2 to improve to 3-7. California drops to 2-8. Bert Blyleven got the win, 8 innings pitched, 2-1 his record. Mike Witt takes the loss. He drops to 1-1. Only home run of the game was Tom Bernansky, his second. And that gets us up to speed now for this game between the Tigers and the White Sox. And it will be Rich 280Z Dotson for the White Sox against Frank Tanana Daiquiri for the Tigers. So let me get everything in place as best I can. And before I get going, I also have to mention I did get some new score sheets from courtesy of Spokane Steve. Very much like the Form B from Strat-O-Matic, but they give much more room for extra pitchers. So actually going forward, the video game that I do for this 1987 season will be played using this score sheet. The other games will be played using the score sheet from Baseball Sim Research. But when I put them all in the little binder, this will kind of give me a heads up that this was the game I did on video when I see this score sheet. So thank you to Spokane Steve for that. Hello, Alan. How you doing? So I do appreciate Spokane Steve providing those for me. As I think they work very well. Much better than the B. Although I like the B, they just don't give enough room for pitchers. You'll have like room for 2 or 3 pitchers a piece, and then you run a room. And in 87, you go through a lot of pitchers. All right, let's see if we've got this all where it needs to be. I think we do. So hopefully your weekend is off to a good start. Your Friday night is off to a good start. There's your benches and bullpens for both teams. Frank Tanana is your pitcher. And one thing I need to do is bring it up on the Strat computer. Hello, Philip. How you doing? Need to bring this game up on the Strat computer so I can give you the statistics in the replay. I've got the dice, the white and blue, best I could do for Detroit. It's the best I could come up with. Didn't want any red because that's the White Sox coloring. So let's go to the computer so that I can get the statistics for all the players as they come to bat and pitch. And I'll most likely be entering the game as I play it manually as well. That kind of is something I like to do, so I don't have to do it later. All right, so Frank Tanana, he'll be making his second start. He's 0-0 with a 1.80 ERA, 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. So that's Frank Tanana. This will be his second start of the season. And leading things off will be Gary Redus of the White Sox. And Redus is hitting .333, 11 for 33, no homers and a run driven in. And April 17th, the final game of April 17th, is just about underway, but a couple bookkeeping things to keep track of. The ballpark effects for Tiger Stadium. Singles, lefties are 1 and righties are 2. Home runs, lefties are 14, righties are 11. For Tanana, his wild pitch rating is a 5, his balk is a 0. For Dotson, same thing. But for pitcher hold, different story. Tanana's a +5, Dotson's a -5. So the White Sox could be looking to run off Detroit, not so much to run off Dotson. So here's the pitch to Gary Redus. We're underway, 4-3. It's a ground ball pitcher X, right, to Tanana. And Tanana is a 2E0. So as a 0, you know, it's like an error. So we're looking at the super advanced for a 2 on the D20 result. Let's see, his rating is a 2. So to get to this, he simply needs a 3 or higher. And he gets it, so it will be actually a G3, but nobody's on base. It doesn't matter anyway. It's a ground out, and it's a simple little easy play for Frank Tanana to make. And Redus is retired. That'll bring up the left fielder, Jerry Royster. I kept Kept thinking left field, but it's, I mean, third base, but because that's his primary position. But in this game, he is playing left field. Not very well. He's a 4 with a +1 in the E8. He is hitting 286 in limited duty. No homers or runs driven in. 5-11, and I guess that's a ballpark blast. For right-handers, it's 1-11. That's a 4. He has normal power, so that's gone. Jerry Royster, his first home run of the season, does it right there on the ballpark blast at Tiger Stadium. Let's look at it again. 5-11, right-handed, the diamond shot, and it's a 4. Ballpark home runs are an 11, and he's got normal power. So Jerry Royster puts the Sox on the board with the home run, and they're in front 1-0. That'll bring up Greg Walker, first baseman. Walker struggling at 143 on the season in just 28 at-bats. No homers, 3 runs driven in. 6-8 to the lefty, struck him out, and Walker's struggles will continue. So 2 down, and it's going to bring up Pudge, Carlton Fisk. He is the DH in this game. Pudge hitting .333, 7 out of 21. No homers, 4 runs driven in. Got a 1-2 against the left-hander. He's going to foul out to the catcher, Lowry, to end the inning. But the Sox get the home run from Jerry Royster, and they lead it 1-0. It's White Sox 1, Tigers coming to bat. And Rich 280Z Dotson will be driving out to the mound to get this game going, or get to the bottom of the first going, I should say. And his numbers on the replay, he is 2-0 with an ERA of 0. He's pitched 16 innings without allowing a run. Only 5 hits, 7 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So he has been superb, as they say. See if he can continue that against Lou Whitaker. Whitaker struggling, hitting a .121, no homers and 4 runs driven in. Oops, Suadice. Let's re-roll that. That's a 5-8 to the left-hander, and that's a 1-6 double. That's a 19. It will be a single for sweet Lou Whitaker. He'll take whatever he can get because he's been struggling. So Whitaker is aboard. He can get the jump, but keep in mind that the pitcher-catcher hold quotient is a -5. So being held makes him a -7. So if he gets the jump, it's only a 1-9. So they're going to go ahead and hold Whitaker there, not risk anything. First havoc roll of the game. Nothing happening. Here's Pat Sheridan. Sheridan, the right fielder in this game, is hitting .267 with 1 homer and 1 run driven in. It's a 2-4, and that's a ground ball pitcher A. It's going to be a 1-6-3 double play. Talk about a pitcher's best friend. That erases lots of problems right there. 1-6-3. 2 quick outs. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Matt Noakes. Noakes is hitting .185, but he does have 3 homers and 8 runs driven in. 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Ozzie Guillen. And Guillen is a 2E21. 2 and a 1. He will not get to that. That's going to get through for a base hit. So a base hit for Noakes. Now let's check an error. He's an E21. He's got to avoid 6, 15, and 17, which he does, but it's going to be a 2-out single. And now how big was that double play? So Noakes is aboard. He doesn't run well at all, so he will not be held. And that brings up Darrell Evans. Evans hitting .172, no homers or runs driven in. That's why the Tigers are struggling. They're just not hitting. 1-6, and that's going to be it's a clutch base hit, but we're not in clutch. He's only at first base, not at second base, so the fly out to center will hold, and that's going to end the inning. So 1 inning gone. It's the White Sox 1 and the Tigers nothing. One note, I do have Bobby Thigpen on the bullpen list here, but he pitched several innings in the previous game, so he is actually not available unless it's an emergency. So Bob James is the de facto closer in this game, just in case anybody's curious. All right. Hello, Dav. Hello, Mr. Gardner. Hello, Ron, if I didn't see you earlier. We are at the top of the second. Frank Tanana coming back out. And Ivan Calderon, right fielder, will be leading things off. Calderon's hitting .387, 2 homers, 8 runs driven in. 6-3, and that is a ballpark single check, which is only a 1-2. That's an 11, so he will end up lining that to short on the failed ballpark single check, and there's one away. Brings up Tim Hewlett-Packard, and Hewlett is hitting a lowly 103 in 29 at-bats, a homer and 2 runs driven in. That's a 3-8 left-handed, and he will ground to short, so his troubles continue. For whatever reason, Alan Trammell did not start this game. He is on the roster. He's just not there. I don't know if it's they give him a day off or whether he's, injured or what the story is on that. But for whatever reason, he's not there, and I don't know what the reasoning behind that is. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. Make sure I don't have any fuzz on this. I don't think I do, but so anyway, Hewlett is grounded to short, and he is out of there. Now I'm trying to remember if I rolled this or what I did. I got myself going on something else, and now I can't remember what I did. Let's see if I can fix this focus, if there's a problem with the focus. Hopefully it's not now. My Strat computer PC was giving me issues, so let's put in that ground ball to short. I don't remember. It looks like I must have re-rolled because it's a 1 here, but I don't remember what the roll was, so I'm just going to re-roll everything. Brand new here for Fred Manrique. Manrique, he's only had 1 at-bat this season, and he struck out in that at-bat, so he's getting some time for Donnie Hill, who's getting the day off against the lefty. 4-9, right-handed. That is a split chance on the triangle. 1-4 is a single, but that's an 11. So it will be a line out to short to end the inning. And I hope everybody scored on their Black Friday purchases for whatever games and game companies they purchased from. I am going to expand my horizons into other sports as I purchase some things from over the Black Friday that are not baseball related. So looking forward to that once I get those and put them on the table and practice a few times. Then we'll do a video on some of them. And that way you can see a game other than baseball. All right, here is Rich Dotson hitting, or Johnny Grubb rather, hitting .217. No homers, 2 runs driven in. It's a 2-4, and that is a fly to center field. And there's one away. So Grubb is retired, and that brings up Darnell Coles. He is at third base. And Coles is hitting .241, no homers, 6 driven in. 5-12, and that's a ballpark blast. Home runs are 1 to an 11. That's a 13, though. It's out of range, so it's just going to be a fly to left. He did have the normal power, but the D20 is out of range, making that a fly to left. If he'd been a left-hander, that would have been a home run, but not a right-hander. So 2 down for Chet Lemon. And Lemon definitely struggling. 107 average, no homers, 1 run driven in. 1-7, he's struggling some more as he strikes out. And that's going to end the inning. 2 innings in the books. It's 1-0 Sox over the Tigers here on April the 17th on the replay. The next game on the replay, we're going to be at Yankee Stadium. It will be the Kansas City Royals against the New York Yankees on April the 18th. That will be the next video. Of course, I'll play the other games that day offline, but that will be the one for video purposes. So just to be aware of that. Frank Tanana back out. Will be facing Ozzie Guillen. His only blemish against Tanana is the home run he gave up to Royster. Other than that, he's pitched extremely well. Guillen hitting .375, 1 homer, 4 runs driven in. Lefty on lefty matchup, 5-9, ground ball to second. And that's handled by Whitaker, no problem. Whitaker should probably be in the Hall of Fame, but I guess that's up for debate. Here's Ron Karkovice. He's 0 for 16 on the season. He has not had a hit yet. Walked once, struck out 8 times, but he's in there for his defense, not his offense. 4-2 against a right-hander. A fly ball right field X. Right fielder is Pat Sheridan. And Sheridan, if I can get him out of the way, is a 2E9. I know that E is terrible looking there. It's an E9. So it's 2E9. The big number is a 2. That's the one to keep an eye on. 2 and a 6, he should get to this. In the outfield, a 2 and a 6 is an F2, so he'll get to it, but can he haul it in? E9, he's got to avoid 3, 11, 16, and 18. And he does, so it's good play for Sheridan as they take care of Karkovice. And Karkovice is now 0 for 17 on the season. Back to top of the order for Gary Reedus. Reedus grounded back to Tanana his first time. 2-4, and he's going to ground it to short, and that's going to end the inning. So another 1-2-3 inning for Tanana, but he finds himself on the short end of a 1-0 stick as Jerry Royster homered off of him, and his teammates have not given him any support. So we go to the bottom of the third. Rich 280Z Dotson out to face Dwight Lowry. He is not carded by Strat-O-Matic, so this is his computerized version card. Lowry is hitting a .43, 2 out of 14, no homers and no runs driven in. That's a 4-12. Left-handed is a strikeout, so Lowry out on strikes, 1 away. Brings up Tom Brookins. He's playing shortstop in place of Alan Trammell. And he's hitting .538 and 13 at bats. No homers, 3 runs driven in. 1-4. That number is going to go down some with another strikeout by Dotson. 2 up and 2 down, and here comes Sweet Lou. He singled his first time up. 3-9, and he's going to single again. So 2 for 2 for Sweet Lou. But because of that -5 hold rating, pitcher-catcher hold rating, he's going to have to freeze it right there. That 1-9 is not a good enough odds to steal. But that's a 1, so it's a possible wild pitch. And Dotson's wild pitch rating is a 5. But no wild pitch. It is blocked. So here's Sheridan. Sheridan hitting to a double play. First time up, 2-6. He would have done it again, but there's already 2 outs. So it's just going to be a 4-3 ground out to end the inning. So at the end of 3, it's still 1-0 White Sox over the Tigers. Tigers, the AL East champions in '87, but no Kirk Gibson and right now no Alan Trammell. So they were hurting in the beginning of the season. So I'm sure they will turn it around as the season progresses. So now we go to the top of the 4th. And let me check things out here and make sure. Hello, Al, Red Sox fan. How are you doing? Anybody else? Kenyon, if I missed you. Marlon. Good to see everybody on a Friday night. All right, so now, top of the 4th. And Jerry Royster, he has accounted for the only run of the game with his first home run of the season. In fact, I forgot to put a little 1 here. All right, so Royster's up for the second time, 5-12. And again, it's another ballpark blast, but this time at 11, that's a 15. It will just be a deep fly to left. So this time Royster does not get the home run. He will just drive it to deep left, and then it's hauled in out there. Hello, Tim. How you doing? It's hauled in out there. Hello, Brandon. Hauled in out there by Johnny Grubb. Here's Greg Walker. Walker struck out his first chance. That's a 6-8 lefty on lefty. 6-8 is a strikeout. So Walker will strike out for the second time. 2 down. And we will go to Pudge Fisk, the designated hitter in this ball game, and he fouled out to the catcher Lowry his first chance. 2-5 against the left-hander is a hit by pitch. So Pudge gets plunked by Tanana. Not too happy about it, but he will trot to first and will not be held. And here comes Ivan Calderon. right fielder. He lined to short his first trip. I believe it was on a failed ballpark check. That's a 2-9 left-handed. He will ground it to short, and they will just go the short way for the fielder's choice, not a double play because there's already 2 outs. So that's going to end the inning. Fielder's choice hit into by Calderon as they get Pudge, who wasn't even there yet to slide. So easy 6-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, still 1-0. And Rich 280Z Dotson back out. And he'll be facing Noakes, Evans, and Grubb for the Tigers. 4-8 left-hander is a walk, so leadoff walk. But Noakes is slow as can be, so he will not be held. And that will bring up Darrell Evans, not to be confused with Dewey Evans. Hello, Jim and Ben. How are you both doing? Here is Mr. Evans. Flew to center his first chance. 5-8, and he's going to do better than that this time. 1-6 is a double. That's a 2, but it's 2 stars, so Noakes cannot score. He will stop at third base. And all of a sudden, second and third, nobody out. And they got something cooking. Now the question is for the White Sox, do you play the infield in? Because you could allow a big inning, but if you play back, you might be able to hold them to 1 run. So they're going to play back and not give up a through the infield single as best they can. So here's Johnny Grubb. He flew to center his first chance. But the infield is back. 2-8. Ground ball shortstop A. And I think that might score the run, but let me double check it. But if you hit those pluses, then that you give up a 2-run single and you really feel bad. So ground ball shortstop A, infield back. Second, third, ground ball A is a 5. It says if hit to second or short, batter out, runners advance, otherwise batters hold. If it's hit to second or short, it was hit to short, so the runner will advance. So it will be an RBI ground out for Johnny Grubb as Noakes will score. Evans will stay at second base, but Noakes will score. And we are tied at 1 apiece. 1-1. RBI ground out. Credited to Grubb. Here's Darnell Coles with Evans at second, not being held. Coles flew to left his first chance. 2-8 for Coles. That's a double on a 1-9. That's a 14, though, so it's just a fly to left for 2 down. And so the Sox are trying to accomplish what I was talking about, which is holding the Tigers to just 1 run and not letting them take the lead, where if you bring the infield in, both those runners could have scored on a plus sign. But, you know, you play your percentages and what you think is going to happen. So here's Chet Lemon. Whoop, clutch situation for Chet Lemon. We re-rolled as we had a sewer dice. But it is a clutch situation for Lemon. And Lemon does lose a hit on 312 on the clutch. So he's anti-clutch on a 312. But he got a 611. That's ground ball pitcher X. And Dotson is an E14. He's a 2E14. 2 and a 14 is okay. At the E14, you got to worry about. As an E14, he has to avoid 7, 13, 14, and 17, which he does. So it's a good play to end the inning. So the 1 run does come in on the RBI ground out from Johnny Grubb. And that's going to do it. We're going to be tied up at 1 apiece after 4 complete. And we will head to the 5th. Tanana has a fatigue of 6. Dotson has fatigue of 7. So they're both still good as long as they are effective. Tanana, very effective. His only hit he's given up was the home run to Royster. So here's Tim Hewlett. Hewlett-Packard, he will lead off. He grounded to short his first trip against Mr. Tanana. I think I messed up the focus here. Let me fix this by putting something in front of here. Hold on. Let's fix that. I don't know if there's too much light on here. Now, I might have to dim some of these lights. I wonder if it's too light here. Hard to say. This phone's been through the works, so who knows what's coming up out of that. All right, so we are ready to go. Tanana against Hewlett. 110. Left-hander is a pop to short. So Hewlett will pop it up to short, one away. And here is Fred Manrique. It's a 5-11, and that's a ballpark home run blast, but he has weak power. So the 7 will not be a hit, will not be a home run, rather. It is weak power. It would just be a single instead of the home run because he does have the weak power. So Manrique does single, and he could think about running because of that +5 for pitcher-catcher hold. So that would make that a 20, and that'd be help make him an 18. So it'd be a 1-18 if he gets the lead. He needs a 6 or a 7 to get the lead. And he does not get it, so he will not go anywhere. That brings up Ozzie Guillen. Tanana, 4-5, and that is a fly to center. Hauled in by Chet Lemon, 2 down. For Ron Karkovice, Mr. 0 for 17 on the season. Be a great time now for him to get his first hit of the season. You look at his card, though. He does not have a single hit on his card. On the season, he hit 071 in 85 at bats, so he does not have a hit on his card. So right now, the replay 0 for 17 is looking pretty good. 112, and that's going to be a foul out to the catcher Lowry to end the inning. So poor Ron Karkovice doesn't last too long on the season. He will be replaced very shortly, I'm sure, because they're going to find out he can't hit. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. Hello, Thomas. Good to see you. Beatles, good to see you. Good to see you, Beatles. Good to see you. All right, Rich Dotson back out. Bottom of the 5th, 1-1. Be facing Lowry, Brookins, and Whitaker. All right, Lowry, his first time up, struck out. 5-11 against Dotson is a ballpark single check. That's an 11, but the ballpark singles are only a 1 for lefties, so that will be a line out to second for out number 1. So Lowry is retired. Brings up Tom Brookins. He also struck out his first time up. Dotson 3-8, and that is a single for Tom Brookins. So a 1-out single to Brookins. Again, that -5 hold is going to really put a kibosh on trying to get the lead too often, except for the most elite Steelers. So he's going to hold. They will hold him on, but he won't go anywhere. And here's Sweet Lou. He is 2 for 2, 2 singles. Seeing if he can get his team in the lead. 3-9, and he does with a single. There's a Omega there, but we don't have any outs. So there's no clutch. That's a single to center. Center fielder arm is Reedus, who's a +1. So let's do some calculations here. Brookins was being held. So he's a 13 being held, makes him a 12. The +1's a 13. 1-13, but with only 1 out. Boy, it's a tough call to try to get him to third base. So we're going to hold him at second base. And that will send up Pat Sheridan. First and second, 1 out, tie game in the 5th. 2-6 for Sheridan. Ground ball to second. That's a double play. 4-6-3. What a way to kill the rally. And it's a second double play Sheridan has hit into. He did the same thing in the first inning. So Sheridan definitely the rally killer for the Tigers, hitting into 2 double plays. In fact, every at-bat he's had has ended, well, this didn't end the inning because there was only 2 outs at that point, but this at-bat ended the inning, and now this at-bat ends the inning. So not a good night so far for Sheridan. Of course, there's still 4 innings to go, and anything can happen, but not a good way to start if you're Pat Sheridan. So we go to the 6th. This is Tanana's fatigue inning, so we'll keep an eye on that. 3 hits, walks, batters, whatever you want to call it, can turn his thing into fatigue. All right, so here's Tanana against Reedus, who's 0 for 2. That's a 112. Reedus, that's a straight-up home run, folks. Right there, Gary Reedus. 112 against the lefty. It's clean as a whistle right here. A home run. There is no D20 even needed. And Gary Reedus just cracks the home run to put the White Sox in the lead 2-1. And Tanana a little shaken up after that. Confidence shaken, I should say. And here is Jerry Royster, speaking of home runs. 1-9. He's going to not hit a home run, but he's going to get himself a single. And he's looking to get the lead again because of that +5 for Tanana. So to get the lead, he needs a 6 or a 7 to do it. 2, he does not get the lead, so he will hold. And here's Greg Walker. Struck out twice. 4-8. He's going to strike out for the 3rd time. So the hat trick for Greg Walker. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. He's going to give up another hit or base runner to be tired. So he's on the borderline, but he hasn't done it yet. Here's Pudge. And the Tiger bullpen is loosening. Eric King, a right-hander, is loosening in the bullpen. 1-6 for Pudge. He's going to pop it up to second base. That's out number 2. 2 down for Yvonne Calderon. Calderon is 0 for 2. Line to short, reached on a fielder's choice. 2-8, left-handed, struck him out. So Tanana survives everything else, just the solo home run. And the score is 2-1. And Tanana still has a little bit of fatigue remaining to give, so he does not have to come out yet. But Rich 280Z Dotson is in the driver's seat as he has got the 2-1 lead, and his fatigue inning is the 7th, not the 6th. So here's Matt Noakes. Hello, Mr. RJL. I don't know why some people aren't getting notifications. That's kind of weird. I mean, in all honesty, I started the stream, or I get ready to start the stream, and my phone kind of messed up, so I had to restart the stream. So the first notification that came on was bogus because it didn't work out. So, all right, so here we go. Dotson to Noakes. 4-6, and that's a strikeout. Again, not tired because we're not in his fatigue inning, so no worries there. Here's Dewey Evans, Darrell Evans. Not Dewey Evans, but Darrell Evans. 1-6 for Evans, and he's going to fly to center field for out number 2. And that'll bring up Johnny Grubb. 1-7, he's going to ground it to first. Walker will take it to the bag himself to end the inning. So 6 innings are in the books. And the White Sox hold a slim 2-1 lead on the Tigers. Again, neither team very good. I'm sorry, the Tigers not very good. The White Sox doing much better than expected. So let me go in. I've been kind of falling behind on my inputs in Strat, so I need to input these last 2 innings in Strat real quick to get caught up. Won't take long to do that. Direct entry is pretty easy on Strat. And as we start at the top of the 7th, it'll be fatigue watching time for Tanana because he gives up 2 base runners. He will be fatigued. All right, so that got me there. And then Reedus' home run, which was his first of the season, by the way. All right, now we're all caught up. To the top of the 7th for Tim Hewlett. And again, Tanana on a short leash. Actually, Nate Snell, a right-hander, is now loosening in the Tiger bullpen. But right now, it is Tim Hewlett. He's 0 for 2. That's a 3-7 against the lefty. He is a strikeout. Make it 0 for 3 for Mr. Hewlett. And that'll bring up Fred Manrique. Limited duty player, but he's in there against the lefty, giving Donnie Hill the night off. 2-8, and that's going to be another strikeout. So Tanana trying to finish with a flurry, getting a couple of Ks. And here comes Ozzie Guillen, who's 0 for 2. 1-3 against the left-hander. That's a strikeout. He just missed an entry chance. So Tanana strikes out the side here in the 7th. So he will continue, obviously. He has nothing against his point of weakness was added to what was already there. So he will continue. And we go to the 7th inning stretch. I'm going to take a quick stretch break myself, I think. Those wondering about Tabby, she is downstairs. It's just that ever since Gracie passed away, she has really not wanted to come up here for whatever reason. Maybe she's just not ready for it, or it's just making her out of sorts. But hopefully one day she will rejoin us. All right, 7th inning stretch time. 2-1 favor of the Sox. Yes, sir. Johnny Grove from my hometown, Richmond, Virginia. Absolutely. Yeah, Marlon, it did because it messed up on my phone. It came out really weird. It was like the whole the picture wasn't the full screen. It was like this little boxed in thing, and it looked weird. So I just turned it off and redid it. I actually was trying to fix it, but when I was trying to fix it, I accidentally hit the button that turned it off. So all is well. Or I should say just as well, because that first one wasn't looking too good. All right. Don't know why on my screen, on my laptop screen, it's looking really weird. I don't know why, but oh well. All right. So Darnell Coles has flown to left twice. He's 0 for 2. This is Dotson's fatigue inning. 2-8, 1-9 is a double. That's a 7th, so it's a leadoff double for Darnell Coles. And maybe now the Tigers can get something going on. Leadoff double for Coles. He will not be held at second base. And here comes Chet Lemon. Lemon. 4-6 against Dotson. Ground ball second base C. That will get the runner to third. So the tying run is 90 feet away. And now the infield will have to come in for the White Sox. Pretty much a no-brainer at this point. Now we can use pinch hitters because we're in the 7th. So if we look at the Tiger bench, one lefty they have is Bergman to hit for the weak-hitting Lowry. So we're going to pull Lowry. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for the Tigers, as it just makes sense to do so. Now the question is, let's see, Bergman hit 273. He's solid. So Dave Bergman's going to hit. And then the new catcher is going to be Mike Heath. So Bergman will get the call to pinch hit in a big situation. And then Heath will take over behind the plate. And for Heath, get his defensive numbers. For Heath, he is a 2, -2, E3, T7. And he runs an 11. Okay, but right now it is Mr. Bergman. He is the man of the hour right here, Mr. Bergman. So let's put that in the computer. Enter Dave Bergman to hit for Lowry. Bergman on the replay, 364 hitter and 11 at-bats. So he's definitely off to a good start. Infield is in, obviously, the runner at third and 1 out. It's a 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Ozzie Guillen. Guillen's a 2E21. 2 and an 8. Let's check him out. 2 and an 8 on the X chart. 2 and an 8 for a shortstop. 2 and an 8 is a G2. And his error is an E21, so he's got to avoid 615 and 17, which he does. G2, infield in, with runner at third. Says leader. Batter is safe, lead runner is out. So they throw Darnell Cole's out at the plate, 6-2. And reaching on the fielder's choice is Bergman. So big out there. They tried to score him, but he was taken out. And now it's going to be up to Tom Brookins. Bergman will not be held at first base. 4-8 against a right-hander is a walk. That's going to keep the inning going. And now Dotson is fatigued. He's given up 3. So he's right at the point of fatigue. And Lou Whitaker is your batter, so the White Sox might be making a move to the bullpen. Very well could be. Let's figure out who they might want to, if they want to bring in somebody or not. Whitaker is 3 for 3 against Dotson. That's another factor right there as well. They will bring in left-hander Ray Searage. Not Sewage, but Searage. And Searage is 2-3 with a 4.20 ERA. But he is going to come in a big spot to try to get Lou Whitaker and protect this 2-1 lead for the White Sox. So Ray Searage. Ray Searage. Searage is a -5 hold also, so that doesn't change the quotient that's over. It's still a -5. So Searage now will be facing Whitaker. 2 outs, 2 on, 2-1 game. So let's bring Searage in from the bullpen on the computer so I can get his numbers for you. Searage enters the game 0-0 with a 2.08 ERA, 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Clutch situation for Mr. Whitaker against left-handers. He loses a clutch, 2 clutch spots right here in the column 3. Gotta be careful of those. It's a 1-6 though, and he's going to ground it to third to end the inning. So Searage does the job, protects the lead, and that will, you can close the book now on 280Z Dotson. He leaves with the lead and a pitcher record to win the game. As we go to the 8th. And we got to replace the catcher. So Lowry is replaced on the computer by Mike Heath. And we'll be ready to start the top of the 8th. Tanana still in there. It's Karkovice, Reedus, and Royster. Don't know if they should bring in a relief pitcher or not. They're certainly thinking about it. Jimmy Wynn's a possibility. Yep, they're going to bring in Jim Wynn from the bullpen for Tanana. Got right-handers coming up, so they're going to bring in Jimmy Wynn. Although Tanana did finish with a flurry, 4 straight strikeouts to end his outing. But Jimmy Wynn is in there. He will be the pitcher. Not Jimmy Wynn. What am I doing? I need the Tigers, not Jimmy Wynn. What am I doing? Wrong team, folks. Nate Snell is who I was thinking of. I don't know why I said Jimmy Wynn. Nate Snell. This is not an inter-squad game. It's Nate Snell. You can tell it's been a long week and I'm tired. But we're going to sally forth to get through this. So Nate Snell will come on as the new pitcher, so I need to go to the bullpen and do that. And then I can give you the final stats on the 2 starters that are no longer in the game. Snell's going to come in. He's 0-0 with an ERA of an even 9. 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 walks, 1 strikeout. Let's get the totals on the 2 starting pitchers. as we close the book on Tanana and on Dotson. Dotson goes 6 2/3. He's going to give up 7 hits and a run, which was earned. Walked 2, struck out 4, and he's in line for the win. Tanana, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs. They were both home runs. No walks and 7 strikeouts. He certainly deserved a better fate. So Snell will be facing Karkovice to start things off here in the top of the 8th. So Snell, not carded again, so he's one of those computerized cards. Karkovice now 0 for, I guess he's 0 for 18 now? Yep, he's 0 for 18 right now. Will he be 0 for 19? 5-6. He will. Ground ball to third. So he is 0 for 19 to start the season, is Karkovice. He's about doing as well as the Red Sox are doing, 0 10. He's 0 for 19. Here's Gary Redus. Hit that big home run his last time up. 2-5. He's going to ground to short. 2 down. So Snell, 2 quick outs. And that brings up Jerry Royster. He homered in the first inning to give the White Sox the lead originally. That's a 3-11, and he's going to ground it to short. So it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Nate Snell. 3 ground balls. Easy peasy there for Snell. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 2-1 favor of the White Sox. And Ray Searage will come back out now. He may not face the scheduled hitter Sheridan because, for one thing, Sheridan is 0 for 3 with hitting into 2 double plays, but he's also left-handed, and they have right-handers on the bench. Larry Herndon will come in and hit for Sheridan against the lefty Searage, and he'll stay in the game to play right field as well. So Larry Herndon is going to make his way in to pinch hit for Sheridan. Herndon in right field is a 4 +1 and an E4. And he runs at a 12. So bottom of the 8th, Larry Herndon trying to provide a spark for the Tigers, as Sheridan certainly couldn't do it. So Larry Herndon will lead things off against Searage. Herndon on the replay is hitting 600. He's 6 out of 10. A homer and 3 runs driven in, but he's mostly been feasting on left-handed pitching. 2-7, and he's going to single, so that average is going to go up. Base hit, Larry Herndon. So Larry Herndon is aboard. He will not go anywhere. Will not even be held. And here comes Matt Noakes, the DH. He's a lefty, but he's also a very good hitter. So you're not going to pinch hit for Noakes in this situation. Herndon at first, not being held. Searage to Noakes, lefty on lefty. 4-4, and that's a straight-up in-home run off of Ray Searage. He has normal power. Look at it up close and personal. 4-4 is a in-home run straight up, and he has normal power. That is a 2-run home run for Matt Noakes, and that's why you don't pinch hit for him. And all of a sudden, the Tigers have claimed a 3-2 lead, and Ray Searage is feeling like sewage right now, as he just gave up the lead on a 2-run homer for Matt Noakes. And for Matt Noakes, that is home run number 3, RBIs 7 and 8. They're going to leave Searage in to face the lefty Evans. 1-6 for Evans. He flies to center. That's 1 away. Brings up yet another left-hander, Johnny Grubb, a left fielder. And they're gonna pinch hit for Johnny Grubb as well. And they're going to bring in Terry Harper. He's also a better defender. It's only a 2 instead of a 4. So Terry Harper will pinch hit for Grubb and stay in the game to play left field. This move is as much for defense as it is for offense. He's a 2 -1 E16. So that is Harper. That leaves Mercado and Trammell on the bench. So Terry Harper will be the pinch hitter. Now you wanted the White Sox might counter with a righty out of the bullpen, which they very well may do. And they are. They're going to bring in Bob James, the right-hander, to counter that move. So the cat and mouse game is continuing here at Tiger Stadium. No, I'm sorry, not Bob James. Jim Wynn. He was the guy I was going to bring in before. Bob James is their closer. So it's going to be, not going to bring him in when they're losing. So it's going to be Jim Wynn, actually. So Jimmy Wynn comes in to replace Searage. Jimmy Wynn will be facing Terry Harper to try to get out of the mess and keep the score where it is. Give the White Sox a reasonable chance in the 9th inning. So Wynn to Harper. It's a 2-8, and he struck him out. So good move there to bring in Wynn. 2 down for Darnell Coles. It's a 3-8, and that's a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. But the 2 big runs, the 2-run homer from Matt Noakes is the difference. And we go to the 9th with the score 3-2. Favor the Tigers as they look to try to close it out. Willie Hernandez was not active on the roster at this point in the season, so they're kind of stuck with who they have. And they're actually going to bring in Mark Thurmond, a left-hander, to try to close it out. He was like their pseudo closer at that point in the season. He had the most saves anyway. So Mark Thurmond will be coming on to pitch for the Tigers. And we also need Harper in left field, Herndon in right field, and we need the new pitcher, Mark Thurmond, in the bullpen. Snell could get credit for the win. Thurmond is 1-2 with an ERA of 9 and no saves, so he's going for his first save of the season. Is Mr. Thurmond. He'll be facing Walker, Fisk, and Calderon here in the top of the 9th. So Mark Thurmond, former San Diego Padre, he'll be in to try to close the deal. 3-2, top of the 9th. Greg Walker, the batter. Everybody on the bench for the White Sox is either a switch hitter or left-handed, so they're trying to also negate maybe some of their left-handed pitch hitting. That's a 4-5. Left-handed, that's a pop-up to first base, 1 away. As Darrell Evans puts it away, 1 first base and retires the other. Here's Pudge Fisk. He could tie the game 1 swing of the bat. No question about it. He's got the power to do so. 1-6, and he's going to pop it up to second base, though. So 2 pop-ups in a row. And the White Sox 1 out away from letting 1 slip away big time. Here's Calderon. 4-9, right-handed. That's a single, so the game is not over yet. Single there. Thurman is a 0 hold. Heath is a -2 arm, so it's a -2 factor. Calderon would, at best, could be a 1-11 to steal, but I don't think he will get thrown out on the base pass. Hewlett hits lefties well, so they will allow him to stay in the game and stay at first base and not go anywhere. He will be held, but he won't go anywhere. And here is Hewlett. Thurman trying to close the deal against Hewlett. Hewlett is the go-ahead run at the plate. Calderon the tying run at first. 2 outs, top of the 9th. 3-2 Tigers. 4-7, right-handed. That's another single with 2 stars. And all of a sudden, it's runners at the corners with 2 outs. Now the tying run is 90 feet away, and it's Fred Manrique, the batter. Manrique, a .258 hitter, so we're going to go ahead and stick with him because he's just as well as the other guys that are there. Thurman has to bear down, though. He's about ready to blow this thing. This is where they really miss Willie Hernandez. This probably would have been shut down by Willie Hernandez with no problem. But Thurman is having issues. 5-5, and he's going to have more issues. 1 to 10's a triple. That's a 20. It'll be a double. This could put the Sox in the lead. A double there. It's going to score Calderon. Hewlett, the trail runner, was not being held. He runs it a 13, not being held as a 14. 2 outs makes it a 16. Doubles assumed to go to center field. So the center fielder, in this case, Lemon's a -1. It'd be a 1 to 15. They're going to send him. Those are good odds. 1 to 15. They're going to send him. See if Hewlett can score on a 1 to 15. He does, and Manrique will take third on the throw. But it's a 2-run double from little-used Fred Manrique off of Mark Thurmond to give them the lead. And now Thurmond is tired. No, he's not tired. I'm sorry. He has a 2 relief rating, not a 1. But he's not tired, but he's he may as well be. Gave up the lead. It's now 4-3 White Sox, and now Bob James loosening the pen for the White Sox to try to close it on their end. Enrique is at third with 2 outs. There's a 2, chance of a balk or a pass ball. Chance of a pass ball, and the pass ball rating on the catcher, Noakes, his pass ball rating. I'm sorry, not Noakes, Heath. My bad. Heath's pass ball rating is a 5. So 1 to 5. If it's a 1 to 5, a run will score. It is not. It's a 6. He barely blocks it. So Thurmond again. It's a 3-7 against a left-hander. 1's a single. Anything else he lines out, that's a 2. So it's snagged at second base by Whitaker to save more damage. But damage done. The 2-run double by little Fred Manrique. And now Bob James will be coming in to try to close it out for the Sox in the bottom of the 9th. Tigers look like they had it all figured out, but White Sox had other ideas. So Bob, the car please, James, will be coming in to try to close it for the White Sox. If I can find this card in this humanity of cards I've got over here. Got too many cards over here. Where did you go, Bob James? There you are. Bob the car please, James. So now Jimmy Wynn can actually get the win. Play on words, but he can get the win. And Bob James going for the save in this 4-3 game. And he will be facing Lemon, Heath, and Brookins. Although Trammell, he's on the roster, so I'm going to use him as a pinch hitter. I don't know if he was injured where he couldn't pinch hit. I assume if he's on the roster, he can at least pinch hit. So we're looking at Lemon, Heath, and Brookins, but we're going to pinch hit for Brookins with Alan Trammell. So Alan Trammell will pinch hit. As the Tigers are desperate. See what they can do against Bob James. Bottom of the 9th, 4-3. Favor the White Sox. Chet Lemon is your batter against Bob James. So let's bring in Bob James on the computer, and then we'll figure out his record and see what's going on with him. Bob James is 0-0, but he does have 2 saves. Does have a high ERA of 9 in 5 innings, giving up 5 runs, 10 hits. But he does have the 2 saves. He and Thigpen are splitting the closing duties right now. So he's going to be facing Chet Lemon, bottom of the 9th, 4-3. That's a 4-9, and that's a line out to second base. Snagged by Manrique, who right now is like the hero of the game as he makes the play. And here's Mike Heath. He's a good hitter. 281 hitter, so we're not going to pinch hit for him. In fact, the only guy on the bench is Mercado, and he's terrible. So got to go with Heath. 4-8, and he pops it up to first. Greg Walker is there. And now it's up to Alan Trammell to get it done. If the Tigers hope to send this game to extra frames and potentially try to win it, they're going to have to depend on Mr. Trammell. So Alan Trammell. Brookins will leave. Trammell will enter. Last-ditch effort. Desperate times call for desperate measures. So Alan Trammell will be coming on. So even though it's a DH game, you can still get the substitution strategies, pinch hitting strategies, and so forth. Not as much as the National League, but fair enough. And Trammell's hitting .286, 1 homer and 3 runs driven in. James trying to close it out. Trammell trying to keep it going. 3-5 for Trammell, and that's a single, so he will keep it going. Pinch hit single for Alan Trammell. And now let's see about him getting a chance to steal. James is a +2, so that changes everything on the hold rating. Karkovice a -2, so that's a 0. So as a 0, if Trammell can get the lead, he would be a 1-17, but he's got to get a 5 to get the lead. The only way he gets the lead is on a 5. 9, he cannot get the lead, but a 2, that's a chance that there is a balk on Bob James. When you roll a 2 in Super Advanced, that's the thing about getting the lead. You do have a chance of getting picked off, but you also have a chance of the pitcher committing a balk. So when a 2 is rolled, there's possible balk. Refer the balk rating. Roll a 20-sided die again. Well, Bob James' balk rating. Let's check his balk rating out. Does he have any balk rating? He does not, so he cannot balk. Okay, so that ends that. But it means Trammell does not get the lead, so Trammell has to hold. And it's up to Lou Whitaker. Lou Whitaker to get it done. He is 3 for 4 on the game. 6-6 left-handed. That's an in-home run, 1-5, but that's an 11. It'll still be a triple. It'll still be a triple. A 6-6 left-handed. 6-20 is a triple. That's an 11. So Lou Whitaker with an RBI triple with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th has tied this game at 4 apiece. And now the Tigers have a chance to win it. And it's a blown save for Bob James. So now it's up to Larry Herndon. He has a chance to walk this thing off. There's a 1 chance of a wild pitch on James. And while James did not have a balk rating, he does have a wild pitch rating. And that wild pitch rating is an 11. So 1-11, this ball game will be a walk-off wild pitch. And it is. It's a walk-off wild pitch as unable to stop it is Karkovice, and trotting home is Lou Whitaker to walk it off on a wild pitch. I don't know if I've ever had a walk-off wild pitch, but I have one right here. 5-4 your final. Tigers win it over the White Sox, 5-4 on the walk-off wild pitch. Just when I think I've seen everything, I see something different I've never seen before, and that might be one of them. A walk-off wild pitch. So we'll go to our box score. Fill in the data. 5 runs, 11 hits, and no errors for Detroit. 4 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the White Sox. White Sox dropped to 6-3. Tigers improved to 4-5. Winning pitcher is Mark Thurman. He's now 2-2. And the losing pitcher is Bob James. He blows the save, his first blown save, and his first loss. He's 0-1 on the replay. So there you have it. Home runs in the game. Reedus his first, Royster his first, and Noakes his 4th for Detroit. But player of the game has to be Lou Whitaker. He went 4 for 5, including that triple that tied it and then scored the winning run on the wild pitch. So a very interesting way to finish the game. A walk-off wild pitch. And that's why we like these super advanced Havoc rolls, because you can get stuff like that. Hello, Denny. Didn't see you in here. Good to see you. Brandon, everybody else. Dwayne, thank you for coming in. I was so focused on getting the stuff in the computer, I was kind of not looking at the chat there for a while. I think my thing got out of focus somehow. So let's see if I can fix that. Get that a little bit better in shape, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, 5-4 the final. Tigers win it. They improved again, like I said. Their record is now 4-5. The White Sox are 6-3. And as I go to the standings, after the April 17th games, the standings look like this. Milwaukee leads the East at 9-1. Toronto's right on their tail at 8-2. Boston 0-10 they're already 9 games back. In the West, Oakland leads Chicago now by 2 games. They are 9-2. White Sox fall to 6-3. In a virtual tie at second place is Seattle at 7-4. Detroit at 4-5. Now they're 4.5 games back of Milwaukee. So those are the wraps for the April 17th games. The April 18th games will be at Yankee Stadium, the video anyway. It'll be the Kansas City Royals against the New York Yankees from the Bronx. And the pitching matchup will be a couple of left-handers, Danny Jackson for the Royals and Dennis Rasmussen for the Yankees. Couldn't quite get the Gubaza matchup I wanted for ID Jester, but that's the way the schedule goes. So anyway, a walk-off wild pitch. Good way to end the week and the weekend, I guess, unless you're a White Sox fan. So I do appreciate everybody spending part of your Friday evening with me. Like I said, I did buy some games over the Black Friday weekend that are not baseball. So I'm going to be, when they arrive, I will be trying to learn some of those and maybe perhaps putting them on video if I get good enough at them to do it. So we'll see how that turns out. Have to wait and see. 3 blown saves and three half innings. White Sox up here. Ray Searage blew the save here. Mark Thurman blew the save here, but does get the win. And of course, Bob James blows the save there. Reason, if you missed it earlier, the reason I didn't use Thigpen is he had already pitched a couple of innings previous games, so I was resting him. And they kind of flip-flopped James and Thigpen for alternating save chances, but this was James' turn, and he blew it. So the next game will be Thigpen. But, boy, just don't know how that stuff happens, especially with 2 outs, nobody on. A seemingly innocent pinch hit single by Alan Trammell keeps the game going. Then Lou Whitaker triples, and then the walk-off wild pitch. So what are you going to do? That's what the craziness of the dice provide, and that's what makes this hobby all the more exciting. So want everybody to have a wonderful weekend. Good start to your weekend. Whatever you're playing, be safe out there. Enjoy the hobby. Check out RJL and all the other content creators that have videos out there. Dave Gardner and his hockey and everything he's doing with that, or Strat-Basic he's playing a little bit, I think. Like I said, RJL and anybody else. I miss Tim when he has his games out there. Anybody that puts it out there, support them and tell them you appreciate their efforts, and that will encourage them possibly to, put out more content. We shall see. So that's good to do it from here. I got to go check on Tabby and make sure she's not upset for me coming up here and leaving her by herself in the bedroom. So we'll wait and see how she handles that. So again, April 17th games are complete. Final score, Tigers 5, White Sox 4. Walk-off wild pitch does it as Lou Whitaker scores the winning run and gives the White Sox the victory. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.